welcome back to Mancinima. Hope you've all had a lovely weekend. Right, before we get on to today's film review, let's go through the old boring routine again, but it just helps my channel out. If you could click on the thumbs up button, it doesn't cost you a penny. Basically it just tells YouTube that we're here and it spreads awareness of this channel and it makes what I'm doing worthwhile. So if you could do that for me, that'd be great, really appreciate it. If you are brand new to this channel, never seen this channel before, welcome first of all. And secondly, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be fantastic, really would appreciate it. Got loads of different videos on here, all the film reviews, all the kind of video blogs and conventions and dinosaurs and stuff like that. So there's lots for you to see, I hope you all enjoy it. Yeah, if you could subscribe to the channel just by clicking the subscribe button, again, it doesn't cost you a penny, that's fantastic. If you've already subscribed, do not touch that button because it unsubscribes you. Thank you very much. And finally, if you hit the notification bell, you'll know when I've done another one of these videos. Right, so without further ado, let's get on with today's film review. So today's movie is Transformers Rise of the Beast. It's the 7th in the Transformers franchise and it follows on from 2018's Bumblebee. In this movie we follow Anthony Ramos and he plays Noah Diaz. Now he's an ex-military soldier and he's trying to find work. He's got a little bit of a past, so he's finding it very difficult to find work. And he's trying to fund and find money for his brother's medical bills. His brother Chris is played by Dean Scott Vasquez and he's got sickle cell anemia. So it's very important that Noah is able to get out there and find some work to fund his brother's medical bills. The problem is Noah cannot seem to land a legitimate job. Desperate for money, he agrees to steal a Porsche, and it turns out that that Porsche is the Autobot Mirage, played by Pete Davidson, or voiced by Pete Davidson I should say. Now, Mirage is quite a quirky character. He's really funny, he's really sarcastic, and they soon, make a bond with Noah. He soon bonds with him and becomes his so-called friend. Mirage leads Noah to Optimus Prime, and Optimus Prime is once more voiced by Peter Cullen. And Optimus is not happy. He's got this kind of deep distrust of humans. He wants to just get the Transformers together, get them off planet without any hassle, without involving any humans. So there's a little bit of friction there. Optimus seeks the Transwarp Key. Now this is a key that can open up dimensions and send them back to their home planet of Cybertron. The trouble is, there's this villainous character called Scourge. He's voiced by Peter Dinklage. Now, he is the leader of the Terracons, and they are also seeking the Transwarp Key in order to bring their own people down to Earth, and also invite his boss, and his boss is called Unicron, and his boss is a planet eater. So obviously there's this urge to stop that from happening from both the humans and from the Autobots. So at this stage we meet Elena Wallace. Now she's played by Dominique Fishback. She's a museum curator, or at least a museum assistant, and she's dusting down this, it's probably about a foot tall falcon statue which has got a crest on it, which looks like a symbol of a transformer. And it's as she's dusting it down that the thing begins to crumble and fall apart in her hands, and of course she panics. And in the middle of this statue is the one half at least of the Transwarp Key, which is something that the Autobots and the Terracons have been looking for. And it's not long before the Autobots and Terracons are brought into battle near the museum. Now Noah is also with the Autobots, so he's thrown into the mix, manages to meet up with Elena, and all of them manage to escape. And Elena says the other half of the key is in Peru. She's found that out from studying the symbols, so they all decide to decamp over to Peru. All of the Autobots, all of the and the humans, and when they escape there, they meet up with another breed of Transformer, which is known as the Maximals. Now the Maximals can take the form of different animals. So you've got a cheetah, you've got a like a falcon or an eagle type figure, and you've also got the leader of the Maximals, and his name is Optimus Primal. Get it? Optimus Prime, like Optimus Prime. And he's a giant silverback gorilla, or at least in Transformer form. So it's up to the humans, the Autobots and the Maximals to form an alliance in order to stop Scourge and the rest of the Terracons from coming down and bringing Unicron to Earth, which would ultimately destroy the Earth. So they form this alliance in order to get the two halves of the key together and prevent that from happening. And that is basically the plot of Transformers Rise of the Beasts. So what's to say about Transformers Rise of the Beasts? Let me first say that I'm not really invested in the Transformers. I don't know enough about them. I didn't grow up with Transformers toys, didn't watch the cartoons, so I don't really know the history. I haven't got that attachment to the characters, if you know what I mean. So the only attachment that I've got to the characters is through seeing these Transformers movies at the cinema, from the first one in 2007. I'm sure I enjoyed the first two with Shia LaBeouf in. The third one with him in began to get a little bit bored. And then the Mark Wahlberg's ones, I didn't really enjoy those. I didn't think they were very good at all. What drew me back in was Bumblebee. I think the film was released in 2018, and I kind of went back to it because I enjoyed that character in the first two movies. I thought I'd be interested to see him hold a movie up on his own, if you like, and see one just about him. And yeah, I enjoyed that one. I thought that was a great cast with Haley Steinfeld, and of course Bumblebee himself. Great movie, great action, great humour. And I enjoyed that one. So, of course, when they announced that the next movie was going to be Transformers Rise of the Beast, I thought, oh no, are we going to go back to, you know, the kind of mass mayhem that we had in the previous movies, where it's just like a mash of metal upon metal, gear upon gear, all the transforming noises, lasers firing everywhere, and you can't really tell one character from another. So I'm pleased to say that I was pleasantly surprised that that isn't the case with Transformers Rise of the Beast. This has got a very good, very solid story, very interesting story. It kept me engaged from the beginning through to the very end. I was interested in the characters, not only the main human characters like Dominic Fishback and Anthony Ramos. I thought they put in fantastic performances, as did Dean Vasquez as the younger brother. But I was also invested in the Transformers and the Maximals and the Terracons themselves. Each of them were given individual personalities. You got to know them, you got to know their struggle, what they were going on about, what they were fighting for. And I thought that was fantastic. I was really invested in this movie, and so much that even when one of the Transformers, I won't say which, but one of the Transformers gets injured and you think it's dying, you feel emotional about it. You feel emotional about a robot. That's strange, isn't it? But yeah, it was a really good film. The action sequences are fantastic. They're not so, I didn't find them so, what I call mashy-mashy, where it's just metal, 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 and you can't tell who's fighting who. You knew who was fighting who. They were very well defined, they were very well represented on screen, and they were taken away in segments, so you kind of had this character fighting that character over there, this character fighting that character over there. And because you know who was paired off, you were invested in their fight. Whereas I think in one of the other movies, there was just all of them coming in like an Avengers style. They were just mash, 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 and you couldn't tell who was fighting who, and therefore you weren't invested in it. But yes, very well defined in the fight sequences. Some great special effects in the movie in general. I loved the Maximals. I thought they were great characters. I didn't think I would, which is strange. But animals as Transformers, or Transformers as animals, I should say. The Cheetah. Optimus Primal was fantastic. I think he was voiced by Ron Perlman. But yeah, I was really, really invested in all of the characters this time around, the robots and the humans. I thought the story was fantastic, easy to follow, intriguing to follow, catch you on the edge of your seat. It was suspenseful at moments. It had a great backdrop music score as well. It's set in the 1990s, same as Bumblebee was. So you've got some great hits in there. I think it was LL Cool J did Mama Said Knock You Out. That's featured in there. Of course, you've got great humour as well with Bumblebee. When he speaks with radio frequencies and with bits of songs and things like that. So that was really good. It's great to see him back on the big screen. Of course, Mirage, played by Pete Davidson as well. That's a really, I didn't know, again, I wasn't aware of this character. I don't know anything about the Transformers characters, but he was a really fun character. He really kind of brought the movie to life at the very beginning, and I think you needed that. I think if you went in with the very stoic Optimus Prime, who's also a great character, but that's who he's got to be. If you came in with that character and led on, you know, with the humans from there on out, it might have been a little bit boring because it would have been a little bit too kind of stiff, a little bit too flat-faced, if you like. But this character comes in and he's full of life, he's full of swagger, and yeah, he's got some neat tricks as well as Mirage. He manages to separate himself out into all these separate cars as a Mirage to fool people who are chasing him. But yes, Transformers Rise of the Beast was a very pleasant surprise. It was a very interesting film. It's one that I would go and see again. It's one that I'm actually considering buying on 4K, and I haven't bought a Transformers film since the first movie. So yes, I enjoyed it, and it's moments like this that make me pleasantly surprised. And it's really, it's nice, you know, you to go to the cinema, you see a film that you don't think you're going to like, and you come out liking it a lot more than you did. So, do I recommend you see this at the cinema? Yes, I do. Go and see this at the cinema in one of the better screens that you can. See if you can find one with some nice bright projection, because it really will make the colours pop of the different Transformers. There's some great imagery on the screen here. The CGI looks great for once. The landscapes look great, especially when they go off to Peru. So yeah, go and see it on the best cinema screen that you can. I do recommend you go and see this one at the cinema. If I gave it a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it a 7.5 or even an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it that much. I thought it was a great fun film, especially just sitting and watch on a hot day in the cinema. That's some aircon, so that was good. So yes, go and see Transformers: Rise of the Beast at the cinema, because I think you'll enjoy it. You know, I think you'll have a great time with it. Just sit down there, let the movie wash over you, get invested in the characters, get invested in the special effects, and you'll have a fun time. There is a couple of interesting scenes at the very end. There's one end credit scene, but there's one just before the movie ends that you've got to pay close attention to, because it'll make you go, oh, okay, and I won't say too much more, but just watch it and you'll know what I mean. You can come and have a chat with me down in the comments afterwards about what you thought about that. But yeah, once that sequence is gone, you get a couple of credits, and then there's like a mid-credit scene. I don't think there's one at the very end because we had to nip off, so I couldn't stay to the very last credit. But I think there's just one mid-credit scene for you to stay with. Okay, so there we have it. That is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Next week, or actually later this week, on Wednesday, I'll be seeing the brand new movie The Flash, and hopefully I'll be able to bring you a review of that. In the meantime, let's go back over that old boring routine, shall we? If you've enjoyed this video, if you've had a lot of fun listening to my review, and if it's encouraged you to go out and watch Transformers at the cinema, hit that thumbs up button. It doesn't cost you a penny, it just helps me spread the word of what I'm doing across YouTube, lets people know that I'm around basically, so it just kind of heightens awareness. So it would really help me out if you could do that. Just click on the little thumbs up button. Just do it once, then once it's lit up, you know that you've done it. Same with the subscribe button. If you're new to the channel and you've enjoyed this review, thank you very much for watching it. Please hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. If you've already subscribed, you don't need to touch that button, because unfortunately it unsubscribes you, because that's just the way it works. But yes, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Again, it helps me out. It helps spread the word of these videos that I'm doing, and it makes it, well, worthwhile for me to do them. Also hit the notification bell. That'll let you know when there's a new one out. And please come and have a chat with me down in the comments. I've enjoyed chatting to the people who have come along and said, I've enjoyed this film, or I've enjoyed that review, or I've enjoyed your goings out to these little restaurants. I went to the dinosaur restaurant a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, thank you for all the people that have appreciated all the work we've done. So until The Flash, I will see you next time.